Happy Tuesday. Hope everyone's having a good day. I feel like today has been second Monday. Like the entire day. This has not been a great week. We're only 2 days in. So then we could just have a chill night playing a story game. We'll see how it goes, because this game is kind of interesting when I load it up. If it gets laggy or crazy, we'll figure something out. The end is never the end. Is never the end. Is never the end. Click.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Stanley got no days off. I don't know if Stanley was happy.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation.
Are we in the background
Something
now?
was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Perfect. Can we, like, look at... We walk fast. This is like a run.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to
I
go
got
to
a
the
day
meeting room.
off.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Does this cup say... Oh, I hate Mondays. I thought it said I love Mondays.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I mean, their cups are here, right? This dude left his computer on. Oh, I turned it off. My bad. We turn these other computers on? If you were in an office all by yourself, would you create havoc? Because
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
What about hot loot, brother? Do you know what hot loots are? Also, can you imagine working for a company and you're just a number? That sounds awful. I want to go up there. Like, this building looks like a nightmare. Like, not very fire-friendly.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
He really doesn't. He does what he wants, when he wants, in the order in which he decides he wants to. What if one of these doors open? He has trust issues, man.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What if I don't wanna? If I enter the door on the left, is it gonna lock? No, I don't wanna be in here. Quick, keep track of how many times we're compliant. It's one. One time. Whoa, this is our meeting room? This looks...
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Meeting schedule. Marketing Mondays, termination Tuesdays. We're broke Wednesdays. Mergers on Thursdays. Fridays is ranking floor 5 meeting. Are we on? No, we're on floor 4. This meeting schedule is gross. Also, you have a whiteboard manager. How do you get that job? Rip friends. Complete today's unfinished agenda items. Write next day's agenda. Reflect. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Chris, are you okay? Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire paper, the guy. Paper guy. Hire someone to fire the paper synergizing guy. Who moved my desk? Also, why is that redacted? Bi-quarterly post-review review. Work harder, hard worker. Throw something in the ideas bin. 10, no more bins. Trash cans. 20 remaining of the idea. 30 firing. What do people want? Things, money, more money. Things, but with money to buy more things? Graphs. What about things and money? We have our new product. Rate at which charts on the same slide depict the same information. I've been in this meeting 100%, multiple times. Oh, Chris is in here.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
No, Chris is supposed to be here.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
No, Chris is supposed to be here. You know, I read the whiteboard. I read the notes.
Coming to a
We're
staircase,
supposed to
Stanley
go up.
walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, in a minute, because we did that last time we were compliant. And I don't know if you know this, but you locked the door behind me. And I couldn't click any of the things. Ew, parking garages.
But Stanley just couldn't do it.
No.
He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
Yeah,
And
that's
for that matter,
obnoxious.
these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself,
Room
this is
closet?
all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion
get a
that
drink?
had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
We're just
He
stuck in the
thought to
basement.
himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon.
12
I'll
before.
have to go back to my boring
Oh, look,
real-life
this is
job
different.
pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined
I thought he
himself
liked pushing
flying
buttons.
and began to gently float above the ground.
Perfect. I love
Then
flying.
he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up.
Stanley,
How
can we
was
get
he
something
remaining
cool
so lucid?
or...
And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be?
Y'all have
Was Stanley
narrators
simply deceiving himself, believing that
in
if
your
he's
dreams?
asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
So he's tripping on drugs?
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This
Voice,
voice
calm
was
down.
a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he
Stanley, I
invited
want a
himself to
drink.
wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job.
Do we have a wife?
All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
We work 24 hours a day, 7 days a
I
week,
am
52 weeks a
okay.
year. I don't think we had a wife. Yeah, okay, Stanley. Can we just get a drink and work through this?
Stanley
'Cause
began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Why not purple?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Thank God, because Stanley was...
Mariella woke up
Wild.
on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
Rip.
And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone
Really?
knows what
That's not very
crazy
nice.
people look like. And in that moment,
He's
she
clearly
thought to
going through
herself
some
how lucky
shit.
she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better.
Mariella's
But
the
then she
absolute
remembered
worst.
the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Ma'am, you're not even gonna call an ambulance? I thought that's what we were doing. Can we click all the things again? Can we not just like make a phone call?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I don't want to go back to the meeting room.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
The meeting room sucks, alright? I don't love it. Chris wasn't in the broom closet. Felt
Stanley
like I
went
was
around
promised
touching
that.
every little thing in the office,
Oh, yeah.
but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Awaiting input. Input received. Perfect. I don't know, narrator. That seemed to do something. I'm just saying.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office.
Look,
because he
we
doesn't
did a
pick up
thing.
well on cues from
On
his environment.
419. We gotta find room 419.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
I don't-
he entered the door on his left. This was
thank
not
you.
the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he
Stanley
wanted to
did
stop
know.
by the employee lounge first, just to
Yeah.
admire it.
I want a drink. I feel like I was pretty adamant about that. Whoever numbered these cubicles, wild.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to
Was.
spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
This room
Stanley
looks like a
simply stood
nightmare.
here, drinking it all in.
Yeah, I do want a drink. You won't let me get one.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room.
I know, do you like
A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some
listen.
paintings. Really worth it.
it? Listen how quiet it is. Without the coworkers here, you know?
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I don't want to do that. Okay, actually I kind
And
of
so
do. It
he
looks
detoured through the
spooky
maintenance
here.
section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and
we
got
click this
back
button?
on track.
Hell yeah. Choo choo.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
That did not sound confident, so I'm gonna say right. We have to go left?
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
No, now I want to go this way.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking?
Are we just gonna
It's
live
clearly-
down here?
Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
This dude gives directions like I give directions.
Let's see, we went down right, left, down, left,
Click.
right, Yep. Okay. Yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Perfect. Nailed it. Do you hear how this sounds? This room makes me really happy.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes.
No, I like it.
Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable.
Like, do you see that
Hold on,
pirate?
rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track.
Why can't I jump?
Okay, from the top.
No, we already went there twice. We don't have to go back. I've clicked all these doors. Oh, I want to click that
All of his
computer.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I feel like maybe these kinds of games are not made for me. We never found room 416, 419. Oh, look, that's different now.
When Stanley... Wait.
Perfect.
What? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the
thanks.
game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or...
I hope so.
Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Okay, well, to be honest, this is the door I want to go through. But you won't let me jump. Thanks so much for the raid, Trigger.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story
Looks
here
like it's right.
before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
I feel like my whole goal in games that have narrators is just to see how long it takes for
All of
me
his co-workers were gone.
to
What could it mean?
piss off the
Stanley
narrator.
decided to
you
go
know?
to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Like glitter, if it was an LSD trip. You like it? Sometimes you just want to do an LSD trip. Like, yeah, I want to click everything. I gotta know. I gotta know what it does. You know? What if I miss hot loot? To be perfectly fair,
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be
I
remembering
still do need
this
a red
wrong.
beard.
It's possible
I gotta
the story
find a
is
good
back
red
where
beard,
we
or I
just
have to
came
draw
from.
one.
Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
I saw this game played through when this came out in what, 2013? It's been a hot minute, so I feel like I'm pretty safe to play through it. You like the achievements? You said you didn't play games for achievements. This is not the new one. This is the original. Might go back and play the Ultimate Edition after this, though.
I knew we'd miss something. The story.
I don't want to go back. It did get a ton of stuff, yeah. That's why I kind of wanted to play the original.
Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Okay, I'm great at this. That means we can click more doors. Perfect.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all.
I can smell this room.
Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe
I don't think he's a George. I feel like he might be a Bradley.
Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what?
I wasn't
Since I've
listening to
completely
you.
forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about
Same.
this? You win!
Hell yeah.
Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
You know if I could jump?
Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both
Yeah, I know
you
I
didn't put in
can't
any
jump.
actual work for that
I just
win.
got the
Some
achievement that
people
says
win
you
fair
can't
and square,
jump.
and this was not one of those situations.
Just
Okay,
one time.
I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
I kind of like it here. He might be a Bradley, okay? No. I think we've determined that this
All
Stanley
right, I've
does
got a solution.
what he wants.
This time,
I don't
to make sure
wanna...
we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Trigger, I feel like you know me. Do you think that I followed what he asked me to do? Facts. I do what I want when I want to. I actually don't want to go in there because that's been kind of boring. Yeah, what if I just want to play solitaire? Narrators are not to be trusted, okay? How come this one's a B?
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
Why did...
Here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story?
I feel like I'm
Simply
getting
by the
bored.
act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably
This one
conjured
doesn't
into
click.
being via the very
door
manifestation
doesn't
of the
click.
nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me.
I'm not even listening
Now,
to
we
you.
can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize.
I want to go in this door.
Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the
Why
mood.
does this game hate me? This music does lighten the mood. You are right, Bradley. But I do want to go in the question mark room. To make that happen, that's where I want to go. job. It won't even let me go back downstairs. I liked it down there. That was cool. This game is a prison. Is this how you all feel when you play games with me? That you have to like block me off so I go the right way? I want what I can't have. That's what I want. I do like these lines a lot though. They make me kind of happy. I don't like that some of the doors don't click. You don't make your question marks out of question marks? That means it's super questioning. I don't really want to go in that room because the lights are ick. Like, this wouldn't be a place that I would want to be. If you like red lights. This is what it was like when I lived in the hospital. Just filing cabinets on filing cabinets. Also, whoever designed this building, this is like a hazard. Somebody's gonna break their neck. This is like a workman's comp. What would happen? Yeah, making stars and stars. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I'm too
Cut the music.
focused.
Go back and look at that fern.
Why?
Stanley, this
Oh, that's so
fern
nice.
will be very important later in the story. Make
Okay.
sure you study it closely and
Did.
remember it carefully.
Will
you
do.
won't want to miss anything.
Okay.
Wait, what? We're back at the office?
Perfect. Is that computer back on?
No.
This
Line,
computer
you do
makes me
know we're
real
looking
happy.
for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
This room had the solitaires. And I'm sad we can't play the solitaires. Does it got corn on it? I don't know. It could do.
Still missing the doors. Did we make a mistake following the line? Perhaps we could have found the
100%.
story on our own.
All mistakes. Because your lines suck. They're not fun. They don't go anywhere exciting. There's no buttons to push. I really want to type on this computer and just say, hello? That's what I would like to do. Also, why was that fern special, but this plant's not special? Can we knock these plants over? I would enjoy that. I already missed the music. This fern types like a computer. which is interesting. Also, I want to know why Chris was in the broom closet. Like, was he in there taking a nap? Or...
No, not again.
Can we
Like,
jump
how
yet?
could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after
'Cause I really
everything
like
we've been
this
through,
room.
you... Well, I can't take
I want
this
to know about
anymore.
that
To hell with it.
pirate.
Restart.
I don't know why. I just feel like if we're not sitting at this computer using it, why we got it on?
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story?
I'm
Something
trying to.
exciting,
I just want to
daring,
go through
mysterious.
everybody's
Ooh,
drawers.
this all sounds
What has
perfectly
Barbara got in
doable.
here?
Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
That seems like your story. That's fine. We can do what you want, I guess, Bradley.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well,
There's
it could be
no
anything.
doors.
What do
There's
you
no
want our story to
buttons.
be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
I would really like to turn the corner and have just a hall of cats. That's what I would like. I think that would be pretty cool. You kind of let me down, Bradley.
Oh, no,
dear.
not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Can we go up in the ceiling? Because that might be cool. That might be a fun little story. We also kind of have to go on this line path because you got nothing else going on here. I'm just saying. There's no cats, there's no doors, there's no buttons.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander
Ours
the
or yours?
opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay. So
First
I know
off,
that each
why would you go
door has to lead
counterclockwise?
somewhere, which means that
I think you
somewhere,
should
the
go
place where we're
clockwise.
trying to go, there must be a reverse door that
Can
leads
we,
here. And that
have some
in turn
buttons
means that our destination
while we do this?
corresponds with the counter-inverted
Also, what if we just
reverse
do, like,
door's origin. So starting from the right,
stars?
let us ask, will
Stars are
taking
cooler
the right
than
door lead us to
squares
where we're going?
or circles
And since
or
the answer is
triangles.
clearly yes,
You
then
know?
by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic.
Yeah, this feels better.
Come, Stanley. Our destiny awaits.
That looks like not a good time. This looks like learning.
Oh, hold
We've
up.
been
what's
playing
this?
the confusion ending for 16 minutes,
The
20
confusion
seconds.
ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times?
We gotta be close to that.
That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule,
We
I
already died
restart
one
again.
time.
Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply
Where's that
because
at?
it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who
I don't feel
consulted
like
me?
the first
Why
time we
don't I
died
get
isn't
to
on here.
decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that
17 is
mean
my
that-
favorite number.
Did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
I don't know, can we go to this bookstore though? 'Cause
So,
this sounds awesome.
Okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree?
You
I'm
could
not
just
quite
open all the
sure if we're in
doors.
the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you do happen to have a...
That sounded like a button. Perfect. One step closer to a bookstore.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Do you think this dude gets bored telling the same story? Maybe that's why we gotta go to the bookstore. No, not an adult bookstore. Like a Barnes and Noble. With a kids section where you sit in a tree
Stanley clicked
with
on
squirrel
literally
puppets
every single door in
and
the
read
office
picture books.
because he doesn't pick up
No.
well on cues from his environment.
We don't read those here. I prefer books like with murder and death.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, the left definitely takes us to the meeting room, and that place sucked. But we never made it to the boss's office either. Because I got distracted and went downstairs.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley
Yeah, see,
decided
we
to
gotta
go
get
up
Chris
to his
out of the
boss's
broom
office,
closet. I tried
hoping
to
he
do
might
that.
find an answer there.
He wasn't there. They now have weird dudes read to kids. Our Barnes and Noble just has like kids read to kids. I don't know. Like, I just want Chris to be in here. I don't know who Chris is.
No,
but
no.
I feel like we should
I won't
hang
be part
out
of this.
here.
I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all.
I'll stay here.
I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
I mean, as a parent, you don't just like... You don't just like leave your kid with strange people, right? Alright. Let's go check out this boss's
Coming to a
office.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
This seems about right. I want to go to the executive bathroom. This office sucks. Two phones is also a little ridiculous. Like, just get a better phone that has more lines.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Can we play the
Shocked,
piano?
unraveled, Stanley wondered
No.
in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Of course. 2, 8, 4, 5.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad,
God, I'm like a
Stanley
pro
happened to
gamer.
input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Maybe
He
I went
stepped into the newly opened passageway.
crazy and got rid of my coworkers because they were bullying me. Probably because they didn't let me push enough buttons. Also, I'm pretty sure we worked 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks in a year. I don't think we got days off. Dude said we had a wife, but I don't think we did. I like that button. That button pushes real nice. Also, elevators freak me out in real life. I would rather climb 40 flights of stairs than take an elevator.
Descending deeper into the building,
Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Like, the glass part doesn't bother me. I don't trust elevators. Like, what if they calculated the weight wrong and one person too many gets on? Or, like, people that jump on elevators? Prison. You should go to prison.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
That sounds like a big nah thank you. Like, that looks better. Unless we're doing the mind control, like, that would be okay. You know what? You only live the cult life usually once in your life. We'll try it twice. Why can't I push this button? I would probably trust the crayon, yeah. I can't push this button, so that's stupid. Why? Oh,
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to
I don't
find
know,
out?
but don't you think it's kind of wild that this isn't an office building? Like, this seems like Umbrella Corp. I'm just saying. Lights, camera.
Now the monitors
to
jump to
action.
life. Their true nature revealed.
Yeah, can we talk about
Each
this
bore the
pirate?
number of an employee
That's what
in
I
the
want to
building.
know.
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen.
What
and
nerds.
Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
I really want to know about the pirate. Yeah. That one up there on the top. The, like, stick. See, look, pirate. Above 465. Pirate. I want to know about that. That sounds pretty kickin'. That dude was fired, so rip to that guy. The pirate's you. That dude's fired. Only 2 people fired? That's like pretty good odds, you know? Out of 600 employees. Ish. Plus the pirate. Action.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring
Can we go
job?
through this
That
door?
his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Probably.
No.
Right
He
time.
refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable.
Bradley,
Wasn't
calm
it?
down.
Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Well, yeah, we just
But here
go
was
to
the
work.
proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy
Oh my god.
or sad,
This is like that
or
other game.
content.
The reveal
Walking,
game.
eating, working, all of it
When I had to
monitored
brute
and
force all
commanded
those
from
puzzles
this very
because I
place.
couldn't pay
And as the
attention.
cold reality of his past began to sink in,
Oh, look!
Stanley
That's a
decided that this
Leviathan.
machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For
Leviathan
he
cross.
would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Home. Oh, is this a puzzle? Do we have to find puzzle stuff? I like the Leviathan cross the most. Oh, big button. That makes me happy. And the pink button makes me happy. See, why couldn't we have all these buttons at the beginning? We can't be doing puzzles. I was not equipped for puzzles. Oh, do we have to push these in an order? Oh. Like in these numbers? Except for we only have 1, 2, and... Is that 4? We had a 5? I still can't jump, which is crap. What kind of game can you not jump in? Or sprint. You can't sprint either. Choo-choo. No jogging either. I feel like we're gonna have to put those numbers in. I didn't see a 0 though. We'll see what this says.
And when at last he found the source of the room... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Oh, 100%.
After they kept you enslaved all these years,
Yeah.
you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
No, not really. I just wanted to push buttons.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Perfect.
In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode.
That sounds like a pretty
eliminating
exciting
the entire
story.
complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes.
Do you think we can speed it up if
now
we
this
push
is making
this
things
big
a little
button?
more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it.
Is this
Mere
gonna open
moments
up
until the
and
bomb
Nuke's
goes
gonna be in
off.
the middle
But
of
what
it? 'Cause
precious
I'm kind of
moments
about
each
that.
one of them is. More time to talk about you.
Like, if we
about
just hang out
me,
right here,
where
is this
we're
gonna
going,
open up?
what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
No, I don't give a shit about them,
A
to be
moment
honest.
of solace before you're obliterated.
I'm good.
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're
You could
gonna
turn that
die
music
anyway.
back on.
I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing
I just wanted to go to
everyone
the bookstore,
inside,
man.
or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better.
Hall of
My
Cats.
goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not?
Sir, I'm just
These
chilling.
are
I just want to listen to that
precious
music.
seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it on?
Neither,
I
actually.
mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything.
I just want to see if this opens up.
Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten?
I don't need to be
One
saved.
solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
Sweet achieves.
Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're
I'm just watching this
powerless,
clock, sir.
to see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
Makes you kind of selfish.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30
Yeah, I
seconds
wanna see if
until
this
a
thing
big
opens
boom
up.
and then nothing.
I'm so excited
No
for
ending.
this.
Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully?
I'm at
Another
terms with it.
choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second
Oh,
of
we
your
had 2
inevitable
earthquakes
life
in
from
the last
moment
2
we
days.
fade in until the moment I
That's been
say
kinda cool.
happily ever up.
The fanfare of that was highly disappointing. Bradley, you kind of let me down. Yeah, we did. People are freaking out because of where we're at.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming
The
in?
end is never the end.
How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely
I can turn
was mistaken.
all the computers off. Why isn't this one on? Disappointment. And that one's off? Oh. Look, I've only been able to do this twice. I need to do it 5 times. Better buckle up.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
I just want to click buttons.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah, let's admire this architecture because it's garbage. That room looks like somewhere you would go to unalive yourself.
Wow. Yes.
Like, look at
this
all of these
room.
just like
What a
drop
beautiful
offs.
room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank
Do you know how
goodness Stanley
dangerous
had
this would
taken this
be?
detour on his way to the meeting room.
Like,
Life
I'd probably
without
roll my
having
ankle on this
experienced
4
this
times a
room
day.
was now too horrible even but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
This is new. Do not lie. You are lying right now. Stop.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I am kind of bad at that. You are correct. But, like, what's the point? Like, our boss isn't here. We can get fired. You already said we need a key card. You already said it was all a figment of my imagination. Do not jump from the cargo lift while it's in motion, because it will cause death. Okay, hold on. Penalty for misuse of the cargo lift is $1,000, but penalty for jumping off the cargo lift, which will cause death, is $5 grand. That seems kind of dumb.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in
I just
control
wanted
of the
to see
story
what
and no one
happened.
gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I know. I have a hoodie on and it's getting warm. I've killed him a couple times. I mean,
all of his co-workers were gone.
to be fair,
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
the other
Perhaps he had
computer
simply
still
missed a memo.
has inputs. But it's not always on. I don't know why we had to shut the door. Seems kind of rude. See, it's not always on. How am I supposed to get 5 inputs if it's not ever always on?
When Stanley came to a set of
Okay.
2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and
Yeah,
Stanley
yeah.
knew it perfectly well. Perhaps
ready.
he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I want to check out this cargo lift again. All seem like a pretty poppin' place to be. It didn't look very safe, I will
The
say
lounge
that.
was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply? But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, I want to go on the cargo lift.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Well, I can't jump. You don't let me have any fun here.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story
kinda
has
bored
been about nothing
with
but
this.
you all this time. There's
Like,
someone
I know
you've
we're
been
not supposed
neglecting,
to jump off
Stanley.
this, but like,
Someone you've forgotten
this
about.
looks kind of
What?
poppin'.
Really?
Yeah.
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others?
No.
Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of
Danger
this, but
everywhere.
I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful.
Sir,
Look,
you
let me
tried to
prove it.
kill me.
Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
You... Oh, okay. You're not gonna let me come down here? What the hell? Do not stand on this side of the fence. Okay.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Do we go in the red door? I go in this door. I feel like we do go in the red door.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time?
Why don't we have a flashlight,
the problem
Bradley?
is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the
We're
way
not
you're
running,
doing
we're
right
walking,
now.
'cause you
Don't
won't
you
let
see
me
that it's
sprint.
killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped.
No.
And I think I have a solution. Here,
I've
let
got a
me
haul
show
of
you.
cats. That looks like kind of a bad time. How many times can you go around this and just knock on the door? 3 times? 4 times? 5 times? 6 times? I'm just saying, probably, I would feel more inclined to make judgments to go through dark doors if after I passed them 10 times, there was just like a monster there. I think that would like change my eagerness. Or if there was a mannequin when I passed around the corner. Like, I'd rather go through a dark door than, like, hang out with a mannequin. You know? You're just gonna make me... Fine. We'll go in the dark door.
What do we want?
To go
What
to
are
this
we
light.
looking for?
It's like that game.
Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we
No,
just stay
I don't-
right here,
I don't like
right
it
in this
here.
moment with this
Just makes me
place.
feel icky.
Stanley, no, wait.
I like it better
Where
in
are you
here,
going?
actually. That, like, that's gross.
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Perfect. That's what we want, because I want to hit that input button on that computer. That's what I really
no,
want to do.
Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Bradley, we can't even jump. Shut up.
No!
We didn't die?
Thank God. No. No, no. What are you doing, Stanley? Please,
We didn't
I'm asking
break
you
our
not to take this
legs,
away from
Bradley.
me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Bradley, are you the pirate? Parkour.
Stanley, let's go back. My God. Is this really how much you dislike my game?
Well, there's no
You'll throw
cats.
yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy.
Yeah.
Am I reading the situation correctly?
That's pretty much it,
Maybe
about
you're
it.
just
Yeah.
getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask.
You haven't given me anything
It looks
fun.
like you wanted to make a choice after all.
Yeah, like put teeth at the
Well,
bottom of
one
this
is
when I
yours.
jump.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
I just feel like
How
I
long
need
was
to.
I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
I want to find this computer situation, you know? That's all I care about in this moment. Also, Stanley can book it. He's kind of quick. Do I get an achieve?
When Stanley came to a set of two open
Or-
doors, he entered the door on his left.
Clicking every single door? That'd be cool.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
You
Stanley
want the
decided to
broom
go up to his
closet?
boss's office, hoping he might find an
But-
answer there.
But what about Chris?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No, thank you. Let's go back down here. Locked out. This game is a prison.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be
See, I'm
fired for
confused. There's
that.
these clocks
And
over
in such
here.
a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk?
Let's say
All because
12-4B.
he believed everyone had vanished.
12
His boss
before.
would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations.
Oh, do we have
For
to go through
example,
this whole
why
thing
couldn't
again?
he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply
We
repeating?
just have to go through this whole thing
No,
again?
Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for
We're
it.
not dreaming.
I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation.
Can we just get
His
in this car
co-workers
and
weren't
leave?
actually gone. He wasn't
That'd
going
be
to lose his
alright.
job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this
What
while
buttons
I'm
are we
still lucid.
pushing for a
So,
job?
he imagined himself
we're
flying
data
and began
entry
to gently
clerk?
float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid?
I don't know how this
And
would
then
be
perhaps
that
the strangest
fun.
question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange.
Like, don't you think this narrator
I'm
voice
dreaming
sounds
about a
like the
voice
narrator from
describing
Little Miss
me,
Fortune a tiny
thinking
bit?
about how it's describing my
And then he gets
thoughts,
angry and tries
thought.
to murder us?
And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
Maybe we're in the
Now,
back
hearing the
rooms.
voice
That's kind
speak
of
these
like
words
what I'm
was quite
thinking.
a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just...
I know, we should play the back rooms
He
game.
would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin,
You'd be
the
upset
press
if
of the
not.
mattress on his back,
I think we could do it.
the fresh air
think we would
of
be
a
great.
world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to
Oh yeah,
be
this is
over.
when we died the first time.
Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal.
I have a tea party to
Everything
go
will be
to on
fine.
Saturday. Kitty is
I
crazy.
am
Yeah.
okay.
Multiple personalities? No, she's just mean.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
She is good with kids, yeah. She would be a professional
This is the
babysitter if she
story
could
of a
be.
woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular
doesn't
day,
feed them
her
at all.
walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think
Okay,
this,
she says that
and in
she's
a certain
sane,
way,
but then
seeing
she
this man
runs
made her
away.
feel better. But then she remembered the meeting
Oh,
she
I got
had
a meeting.
scheduled for that
Fuck
day.
it. I'm not gonna
The
call an
very important
ambulance.
people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by
I don't know
extension,
that makes
the
you
rest of her
sane.
life.
That seems like a
She
pretty
had no time for
insane
this, so it was
decision
only
to
a
make in
moment
this moment.
that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Hope you get hit by a bus. Okay, back to this computer with the input. That's cool. Also, what happened to this fern,
All of his
Mr.
co-workers were
Narrator?
gone. What could it
Because
mean?
I haven't seen anything about
Stanley
this
decided to
fern
go
in
to
a
the
long
meeting room.
time.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
She left that guy on the side of the
When
road.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I just feel like maybe her story would be more exciting if she was lying on the ground
Yet there was
and
not a
somebody looked
single
at her
person here either. Feeling a wave of
and
disbelief,
said,
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
if somebody found her on the side of the road. Maybe it would do her some good, you know? Make her feel a little bit better.
Coming to a staircase,
Probably
Stanley
insane.
walked upstairs to his boss's office.
We can go into the bathroom? Hell yeah. Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes, if the bosses suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. Do we need 2 cups in this bathroom? That seems 3 cups. Also, that looks like an awkward place for toilet paper. I would give this bathroom a 3 out of 10. This looks like a terrible bathroom choice. I'm glad we got to go in it, though. That was awesome. Doors monthly. Indoors monthly? Outdoors monthly? I don't know. Graphs. Love graphs. Bing bong. Don't you think people should, like, pick these papers up? Seems like poor custodial management. This elevator is, like, suspiciously long. So do you see these? It looks like maybe this is made out of drywall. I'm good with not being in this elevator anymore. Thanks. Could we just live in that elevator, you think? That'd be kind of cool.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean?
Isn't it
Stanley wondered
2854?
aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the
we can
boss's
take anything
desk.
off.
What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret
2845.
that
I'm
lay
so
buried below his feet.
close.
And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy.
Bradley,
so
I
he
think you need
relaxed
some help.
for a few moments with some calming new age music.
We just, like, take a sit on this couch while we wait. 'Cause I can't jump.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley
I feel the
calmly walked
opposite of that.
forward into the opened passageway.
Oh, can we play the piano yet? That'd be cool too. I just like clicking buttons, you know?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Well, we did that already, and
Although this
that was
passageway
lame.
had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet
Sharks.
his violent death.
Can there's sharks down here?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
No, thank you.
At this point, Stanley
already
was
did
making
that.
a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Sharks. I don't see any sharks. I'm disappointed by the lack of animals in this game. I didn't even kill us.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his
perfect.
demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great
Do
loss,
any
like plucking
lives
the
really
eyeballs
have
from the blind
consequence
man.
in death?
So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
I'm here for it.
Farewell, Stanley, cried
Anticlimactic.
the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
They seem fine. The fact we have a female narrator now is good, interesting, wild.
And yet it would be just a few
Perfect.
minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back
Yeah,
in
I
his
wanna do the
office, as
computer.
alive as ever.
We
What
do the computer?
exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
What do you mean, what did I do?
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless,
Exactly.
making life the same. Do you see
She
now?
gets it.
Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Oh my gosh, look. It's like a maze. Like a rat maze. Yeah, these paintings suck. The office. The buttons. Oh, button sounds. Each sound is a mix of keyboard stroke and synthesized tone. Like, I'd be happy with this. Just a wall of buttons. These computers piss me off, but that's fine. The set of two doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. These filing cabinets suck. There's no cool stuff in there. We didn't get to play solitaire. We do like games that give credits. Oh, his name was Kevin. Dang. Why is there not a secondary narrator? Suspicious. The boss's office. The clock. Do you hear how quiet it is? This is nice.
Stanley walked through the green door.
Kevin Brighting, the voice of the narrator, recorded dialogue for the entire game roughly 3 separate times over the 2 years of development. These are clips from early takes that were not used in the final game. I can't hear very well. An early version of the Underground. Oh, see, do you trust that escape better than Cran's? Why is the clock like that? Freedom ending. This was the very first incarnation of the freedom ending in the game's alpha. The countdown desk, one of the desks from an early version of the countdown ending. This is the freedom ending as it existed in beta. I don't think we got necessarily the freedom ending. This screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as the Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. These levers were originally a part of the Zending. The player would pull a lever and the narrator would describe what color lever they had pulled. Why can't we pull these? That sounds better than buttons. This ending went through many iterations. This room represents the 4th version of this ending, and we thought it was complete, but decided to abandon and change it again shortly before launch. The game is now paused. Oh, this is the escape menu. For a long time, we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. The meeting room. The flow of hallways following the first 2 doors was important to get right since players will replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. Vent? What about this? Yeah, why haven't we gone to the vent? Did we know the vent was an option? I don't feel like we did. Ew. In a previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. Cargo lift was always intended to offer the choice of staying on or jumping to a different path. However, after this early version, we decided we also wanted the option of the player falling to their death. This second version is functionally the same as what's in the final game, but we wanted it to look more like a place where cargo was actually stored. These are screenshots. The point is to win. The point is to lose. More endings, fewer endings, more narrators, fewer narrators, more Stanley, less Stanley. In September 2012, we submitted the Stanley Parable to Greenlight, Valve's process of approving games for Steam. The Greenlight page had only a series of cryptic photos, which were still enough to win the community's approval. Oh, these are their Steam. That makes sense. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up in a battlefield fighting aliens. This action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. I don't know, that sounds pretty awesome. An early version of the maintenance room? Did we do everything? I feel like we missed something. Perhaps not? From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office over time. The first was created in November 2011, the second March 2012, and the third February 2013. This is the level that William, the level designer, sent Davey, the writer, as a kind of audition piece. The strength of this level got William hired to design the full game. Though much of the environment has changed, the basic layout from this mock-up is still in the game. An early version of the countdown room. Oh, we did see the freedom, right? For a time, the elevator in the monitor room could go up or down with freedom above and countdown below. We abandoned this when players found it too difficult to remember what was up and what was down, and placed the two endings together instead. We looked at this freedom ending, I remember that.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Probably Lillian. We broke it? We broke it? Can we just save this? Yeah. Save it here. I think it's Lillian. That just sounds right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Just want to do this computer input thing. We haven't got it in so long.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office.
because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
I'm still gonna call him Bradley, not Kevin.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of
Can we just get
disbelief,
Chris out of the
Stanley
broom
decided to
closet
go
yet?
up to his boss's office, hoping he might
The
find an
future was
answer
yesterday,
there.
tomorrow is now. I love this how to solve a dispute with a coworker, by the way. Let it ball up inside you, and then be passive-aggressive about it. It'll all work out. Why? Why can't I go in here ever again?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
2, 8, 4, 5. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. I hate that picture so much. Business strategy. Like, how long do you think we can just stay in this elevator? Because I don't feel like it goes anywhere. It just plays elevator music. And sings us a song. Like, I feel like the narrator is singing a song right now. I think this is a fake elevator. Like, is he just gonna get mad at me for being in here and not doing anything? He just did a big heavy sigh. Do you think the narrator is a demon? I feel like that kind of makes sense.
Nothing like Mellotron.
Maybe he likes it in the elevator. Maybe it makes him feel zen. maybe my boiling point is lower than his boiling point. I was like a secondary sign. Why can't we just like go out the back of this elevator? Because I'm pretty sure this is made out of drywall. Did you see that a Brazilian influencer died because he went under anesthesia to get a full back tattoo? And his heart couldn't handle the anesthesia? So when they put him under, he had a heart attack and died. He sounds oddly into the song. I tried. I couldn't. Got bored. Oh, look! Look, look, look! This computer is the input thing! 3, 2 to go. 2, 8, 4, 5.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some
Oh,
buttons.
gosh.
Oh, hey, look, it's
No.
a new passageway. Kill surprise.
I messed up. Oh, I can't. Okay, I didn't mess up. I don't have a clicker. That was rough. That was rough. I swear we played another game that was similar to this.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No, I kind of want to go this
Although
way.
this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would
Stop.
meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Okay, hold on. Because I guess from like here, we can just start again, right? I don't have to go through the whole thing. Once we find the computer input.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter
Yeah,
how
click
hard
this
Stanley
one.
looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I
Stanley went
can't get
around
this-
touching every
there
little
we go.
thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference.
Oh,
Nor did it-
no, we're done. I hate this a lot. I don't love it. I mean, I do like all the buttons. Like, That's kind of cool. I'm down for this button pushing business. Oh, the button's turned back on. It is button heaven. Except for if it was button heaven, they would all be like the same. Because like these three being the same color in a row, or these three being the same color in a row, and they're different shapes. I don't like that either. Which means that there should be a button that is like special. I like there's just saying buttons over and over again. You're over it. Don't you think there should be a special button? Pretty sure there should be. Does this take us back to button heaven? Why could you come to button heaven if there's nothing special here? That seems kind of silly. It is only have. You're right. I don't know what we're supposed to do in button heaven.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
What do we have left? Died a bunch of times. I guess
When
we go
Stanley
back
came
this
to
way?
a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly
If I have
well.
to go through,
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I guess technically we have the cargo thing.
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true happiness. Then the feeling went away, and he felt sad again. Then it came back, and lingered for a minute or two. Now it's only half there. Just a kind of, tingle.
That's depressing.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I'm not gonna lie, I've never actually been in here,
And so he
right?
detoured through the maintenance section,
Oh, no,
walked
we did
straight
go through
ahead to
here.
the opposite door, and got back on track.
But I pushed that button. Because that takes us back to the break room. And that's... Or not break room, meeting room. And this is a great button.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Just kidding.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Do you remember? Ratchet.
Now, let's see, we went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way. No, 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 no. This isn't right at all.
still
You're not
haven't figured
supposed to
out
be
the
here
pirate
yet. This is
situation.
all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, hmm? Okay, from the top.
What if we just restart the game a whole bunch of times in a row without doing anything? Can we do that? As much as I want to go back to Button Have. That last time was different. It was a hallway. It didn't open up into computers like this did. This is the first time we've had a phone.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct? Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
That was it? I think I remember the game that was kind of like this was like God's Basement, right? I never finished it because we got stuck and couldn't figure out what to do at the very end. That was our hellscape. Our hell loop. I want to see if that hallway will come back now. Should have paid more attention. I also feel like I'm gaslighting myself. Maybe there actually wasn't a hallway. I'm pretty sure there was. I'm like pretty sure. I just got an unachievable achievement.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Why can't we see the weather? We can't go outside? I mean, we could. You could just, like, make a door that goes to the outside. Or, like, just give us some pictures or something, you know?
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
Oh, I just got trust issues. I want to go up there in the vents. How do I get in there? I feel like maybe that could be a cool little story, Mr. Narrator.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Just because I want to see what
Yet
Chris
there was
has got
not a
going
single
on.
person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
I hate this. I hate that this door is blocked off.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Sorry, door. I've got the feeling. Money's for stealing. But not yours, of course. Say, that's a lovely purse. I don't feel like this elevator goes anywhere. But I also feel like if I don't check it, then what?
Here's the door, just go.
What if I want to push the buttons? Oh, I hit the wrong one. Do you know how hard it is to figure out where my cursor is when I don't have a cursor? So hard. I didn't get over far enough. I can't do it. If I start here? I just want that to do something different. My dog is snoring. Oh, we can turn the mind control off. We haven't done that.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Lights.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Cameras.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
I hate that I can't, like, zoom. And action.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Can we jump off of this?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy,
or sad, or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again...
I have my cursor back now.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty.
Not
Was it
complete
over?
blackness.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone?
I
How
don't
had he
care
been
about the
freed from the
coworkers, like
machine's grasp?
0%.
What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or
found the
even power
trees.
that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
Can we
It
explore
was
in here?
perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
It's like, why do we have a whole ass parking lot over here?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin.
I have zero
The feeling
control.
of liberation. The immense
isn't
possibility
liberating.
of the new path before him. This was exactly
This
the
is
way,
the opposite of
right
that.
now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
I'm not happy. I want to know what's in that barn. Alright, I think we'll call here. I feel like we still have more endings. Oh, we can see, I don't know why it won't... Oh, did it let us? It let us save it that time. Okay. I feel like, yeah, achievements. Oh, we have these enabled. I was gonna see if it would let us see what the achievements that we got were. But I think this is where we'll call it. For now. We'll figure out... I want to figure out the button heaven. Because there gotta be something there. And then we still gotta figure out the countdown thing. Because I'm sure there's tons of stuff there. This game is supposed to take, like... I don't know. 3 hours total, I think. To get everything. I think. 3 hours isn't terrible. But then I think after this, we'll play... I don't know. I've been going back and forth. What Remains of Edith would be great. I still have the Quarry to play. All the story games. I have so many. So we'll figure out what to play from here. feel like we were close to getting the narrator to rage quit. So close. So we'll try harder next time. Have a good night.